Shots were fired on Eli Avenue at around 5:30 a.m. this morning. Marshals appear to have been executing a warrant for a suspect at the time of the shooting. You could see it's still a very active scene. About an hour and 15 minutes later, dozens of police cars, the streets blocked off. We're following breaking news on this Wednesday morning. This is a live look at I-10 westbound. A crash causing a major backup and impacting morning commute. A suspect barricaded in the 1600 block of McCaskill Avenue in Tallahassee, just minutes away from Doak Campbell Stadium and Florida State University's campus. This location on McCaskill Avenue is where we find our Nolani Matthews. Nolani, what can you tell us? A sheriff's deputy is killed overnight in Hillsborough County on his last day before retirement. On your screen right now is footage from that scene. When former Vice President Joe Biden won the Democratic nomination, one of his main bargaining chips was that he was going to be the candidate to take back the Midwest. Why that's also extremely important is because when we look at the actual counties in Nevada, take a look at the states that actually changed there. Those bargaining chips that he mentioned on the campaign trail and before the nomination itself for the Democratic Party actually came into play. Positivity percentage, get this, Lenitra, 3.91%. How about this for a stat? If Florida was a country, it would be the 4th highest in the world. And for those asking why it is so difficult for the Florida Department of Health to report active cases, it's because since the beginning of the pandemic, they never reported the total number of recovered cases. The victim is a 19-year-old male in this situation. They did have most of Main Street blocked off here. I'm standing on Stevens Street, where they've had this police tape up since about 2:30 this morning when we first received a tip into our newsroom. Again, this is an active and ongoing investigation. The police department is asking anyone with information to contact them. Riverside Drive completely closed and flooded up to about the mid-thigh level. The adjacent streets that you're seeing all but flooded and filled with some debris, but a suspect has been apprehended in this incident off of Sunbeam Lane. Take a look at your screen. You can see the suspect being put in handcuffs, visibly upset. A very emotional scene as others that lived in the house watched him being taken away. In just a few hours, President Donald Trump will address a crowd full of people. We know Second Harvest is going to benefit from your donations. We know Toys for Tots is going to benefit from your donations. We know the Foundation for Leon County Schools is going to benefit from your donations. But you know who's really going to benefit from your donations? You are. Write it down on my phone. Can the hacker see that? I mean, where do I write it? Pencil and paper?
Where's the line? We don't know.
Okay, quick transition. This is Cape Fear. Our producer wanted us to get this shot up. We got the shot up. America taking a hit. We are expecting a very busy day in the forecast. That's why meteorologist Rob Nucatola is not reporting from home. Instead, he's reporting from right here in the studio. Rob, what is the most important thing that we need to keep in mind as we leave our houses today? Be serving as sheriff for a second term, and there was probably no group of people faster to congratulate you than the people that you work with. This is a personalized New York Jets jersey to Sheriff Walt McNeil. I got to ask you, how cool is this of your people to do? And I also have to ask, where does your love of the New York Jets come from?
Well, from Joe Willie Namath, quite honestly.
What's it going to take for you to sing a couple of bars of the last song you heard?
Okay, God has smiled on me. I had a heart.
First and foremost, I want to ask you how you and your family have been doing throughout this pandemic.
Yeah, great question. Our family's doing pretty well.
Always like to have fun here because we're sitting here for like 2.5 hours, so we have to have a little bit of fun and laugh at ourselves. We have our question of the day in honor of Chocolate Chip Cookie Day being yesterday. Mayor Daley, we got to bring you in on this one. If you could only have one type of cookie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Snickerdoodle. Hands down, no questions asked.
Who would have thought that the eyes of the nation in the 2020 election would be fixated on Georgia, not just in the presidential election, separated by just 11,800 votes in the Peach State, and 2 subsequent recounts, one of which was the largest hand recount of all time, and the other one which wasn't certified until yesterday. But also 2 highly contested, down-to-the-wire runoff elections that will decide the United States Senate. My goal was, and still is, by the way, to interview all 4 of the candidates from those races before the January 5th runoff, which is why I reached out to Senator David Perdue's campaign 4 separate times in an attempt for an interview. Twice in November, on the 10th and 13th, when I was told he could not conduct an interview at the time, and then twice in December on the 2nd and a couple of days ago on the 4th. Perdue's opponent, John Ossoff, said yes to an interview. So I talked to him in the latest morning conversation. How do you respond to some of these allegations that you hear on these ads?
Those are all lies.
Since the last debate that you and Senator Perdue had on October 28th, your opponent has opted not to debate you at all leading up to the January 5th runoff. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's cowardly of Senator Perdue to refuse to debate his opponent. If he didn't want to answer questions in public and debate his opponent, that's fine. He just shouldn't run for re-election.
If the morning conversation is supposed to be about the leading voices in our community, there is no voice more resounding and no spirit more powerful than Bobby Bowden. I sat down with the two-time national champion and 12-time ACC champion as the Seminoles and their faithful prepare to converge once again on the house that Bobby built. I'm wondering if you were a head coach right now, and you'll always be the head coach to this community, how would you navigate your team and lead men to get through this period of time? What methods would you use?
I'd resign.
They've been hit hard by the pandemic and things that are going on right now. They are looking for some kind of inspiration. If you could provide in words some kind of inspiration to them in this time of need, what would you say to them?
All right, what you just described, that's life today. I don't care what profession you're in or what you do, you're going to get knocked down. And that's one thing football teaches, you know. You get knocked down, get up. People have a problem, and they think they're the only ones that got a problem. You know, I really got a problem. I feel so sorry for me. Everybody has some kind of problem that other people don't know about, you know it? And to be a success is the guy that can fight through the problem. Get used to it, baby. It's a way of life.
Though the quarantine caused by the pandemic has certainly forced us to spend more time with certain people than we might like. Even for gorillas, he's like, I have been cooped inside of this tiny space with you for months, and I am just sick of this, let me tell you. You never clean up after yourself. You just sit in your filth. You never buy me anything. Then my favorite is that one. He's like, I'm free. You can't get me now. I'm free, baby. No one knows how it happened. All they know is that chaos ensued. The zoo officials say the monkeys are in the vicinity, but none of them have been captured yet. We are as shocked as you are that you're awake right now, but we are very happy that you are here. And the first time I saw that and heard your joke, it made me laugh, kind of like this. This is video of a monkey laughing for the first time. Do you like this voice randomly belting their heart out outside of your house? In today's WCTV poll, what's your favorite type of pizza? New York,
gotta be
Chicago,
foldable.
California. Other people commenting in, and overwhelmingly people are going to say, New York style wins out, baby. Listen,
You people get
let's
it.
bring the convo back to the couch.
Right. For those who don't know, what is New York style? What does that mean?
To me,
Let the New Yorker-
thinner crust. If you remember, in the 5 o'clock hour, I was doing some live shots from a bus. Well, it turns out that this bus was Sweet Paige's bus, and she came up to me after the live shot, and even when I was getting off of the bus, remember, I'm no student. I might look like one without the beard, but I'm still no student just yet. And when I was getting off the bus, she was like, make sure you have your hand sanitizer, make sure you have everything in protocol in place with your masks. Kevin Keene joins us once again from freezing cold Hartford, but he is inside and looks a little bit more awake now. Kevin, I'm looking at Florida State, okay? They're shooting 25% from beyond the arc. Put your thing right over there, click the link.
High tech.
And it takes you right to the Salvation Army's website. Got a lot coming up tomorrow and for the week ahead, including the forecast. Swish.
I like it.
Hudak's in the house. I'll never make that again.
Like that.
I didn't even make the varsity high school team. You're from Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Did you think that your life would lead you to where you are right now?
As a globetrotter?
Yes.
No. I knew I wanted to play professional basketball at a young age, but I was not thinking that I was going to be a globetrotter.
In order to make a crisis look authentic, you need all response efforts to be too. Enter Reba the Diva and the other dogs on scene to help victims. They're not comfort dogs, they're not service dogs, they're crisis response dogs. Their job is to connect with victims of a crisis.
Just the time that they spend with the canine allows the individual to be able to start talking, and when they can start talking, they can start connecting, and when they start connecting, they can start healing.
While the firefighters fight the flames on the outside, these dogs take care of whatever's going on inside. It's because of dogs like Allie Beth and Maggie that victims of a crisis are not only able to communicate with first responders, but also start the road to recovery. Reporting in Tallahassee, I'm Michael Hudak. Before most people are even awake, FSU ROTC has been working relentlessly for hours to take on not the region's, not the nation's, but the world's best.
5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8.
Up before the sun. That's what it takes to be a champion.
Send us on 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes!
It was total domination when FSU ROTC took home the Regional Brigade Championship in Jacksonville.
Well, we call it a killer instinct because we're not here to survive. We're here to dominate.
But the Seminoles are just beginning to blow off steam.
7, 1, 2, 3, 2, 8.
The victory in Jacksonville secured them a spot at the Sandhurst Military Skills Competition at New York's West Point Academy in April. It's not a national championship, it's the World Championship, with teams from as far as Japan competing. But FSU is used to greatness.
Between the cadre, the cadets, and the teams that have come before us, you know, it's just what we do. You know, the excellence, that's what we leave on the field.
Military academies from across the globe. Young men and women that don't have majors like nursing and engineering to pursue on top of the ROTC. Florida State is just different.
All the way up and hold it.
I can tell you that coming to Florida State and being involved with this program and seeing the future leaders that we're producing, my faith in the future of our military is nothing but not just reinforced, but it's probably increased beyond.
Bleed red, white, and blue with a heart of garnet and gold. They have the size, the speed, the strength, and the confidence. All that's left to do is to go to West Point and execute. Reporting in Tallahassee, I'm Michael Hudak.